Good afternoon, ladies. This is Kara from iStampin.com. Thank you for joining me. I just have a couple of quick announcements and then we'll get started with the project. If you joined me last week and if you join me every week, I pretty much announce this on a weekly basis about the Stampin' Anonymous tutorials. You get these for free when you purchase from me in the month of February. It's adorable celebration products this month. I see a cat foot underneath the door. My gosh, these cats. So anyway, it's 6 exclusive tutorials, full color PDF. You get these for free, like I said, when you shop with me in the month of February. You can purchase these for $9.95, or when you join the iStampers, my team, you'll get those for free. Secondly is Paper Pumpkin. Next month is Paper Pumpkin's birthday, so they have a special subscription box to celebrate their birthday. You can subscribe for $19.95 a month plus tax. The shipping is already included in that price. If you just go to iStampin.com, on the right side of my blog, if you scroll down, you'll see this exact image. You can click on there and that will take you to the link to sign up. If you do the 3-month prepaid of Paper Pumpkin, which is about $54 and some change, you will actually qualify for 1 free celebration item. So I think that's a great way to try out Paper Pumpkin, see what you think about it, and also get a free celebration item. All right, so that's all of my housekeeping, and so let's get started with the project. I do have to announce that I normally have at least the Facebook post up shortly after my lives end with all of the details of the products. I have to actually run right after this is over to an open house, so it will probably be later this evening before I get that information up. We got notice last week that my son's special needs private school is closing in May, and now I'm scrambling to try to find him a new school. And one of the other private schools in our area is doing an open house for all of us parents. That this was unexpected and really unfortunate, and hopefully something positive will come about. All right, well, let me show you. This is the Happiness Blooms suite, which you can find in the the occasions catalog on pages 24 and 25. So this is the Happiness Blooms Designer Series paper that I'm going to show you, and this is what I need help with. So y'all are going to tell me which paper you prefer, and then that's what I'm going to use to make the bag. So I'll show you all of the designs. And let's see, we'll say, I think there's 6, so, or 12 sheets, so, well, we'll figure it out, okay? All right, so this is the first choice right here. And the colors in this collection are Call Me Clover, Calypso Coral, Lovely Lipstick, Night of Navy, Pineapple Punch, and Whisper White. And then that's, whoops, and then that's the back side. Very, very graphic. So this is the one that I used, so I'm not going to use that one again. Very, very graphic, like I was saying, bold, bright patterns. This reminds me of Hannah Anderson, if y'all know that children's, well, I guess there's adult clothing as well. But when I first saw this, that was my first reaction. I'm like, this looks like Hannah Anderson. Jillian had a couple of outfits from when she was a toddler and young girl. Some pretty stripes. And then this one. I used this pattern for my thank you cards for last month, so you may be getting a card soon with this print. Okay, so which one do y'all like? Do you like the navy blue and small flowers? The bright red? This one right here, this is the one you like. Hi, Carrie. This is the one you like, Diana. This was the one I was going to use, but I just wanted to get y'all's input. Since y'all are the ones that watch me every week, I wanted y'all to have some input. The first one, front side. Yes, okay. Let's see if we get anybody else to comment. So if I go with this one, then I'll have to change up my cardstock, which is, it's no big deal. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. This is one that I was thinking of doing anyway before I thought about asking y'all's opinion. Okay, so I'm gonna change up my ink pads, my ink colors. So let me go get the Call Me Clover really quick. So these are the inks that I'm gonna be using: Call Me Clover, Calypso Coral, and Night of Navy. You're also going to need Call Me Clover cardstock, and then Whisper White cardstock. You can just grab scrap pieces because we're going to be using the stitched square framelit along with the scallop framelit. So I don't know if you can see that. That's stitched in the scallops. And then we should be able to also stamp our sentiment and be punching that out with the classic label punch. The stamp set obviously is from Bloom by Bloom. This is in the Happiness Blooms suite. I got the Happy Birthday from Amazing Life. This is also a stamp set that you can find in the Occasions catalog. Great Happy Birthday. This bag actually, you know, can be used for a variety of occasions. I just went ahead and put Happy Birthday just because that seems to be, you know, what I use bags for the most part. This can be an any occasion bag. And I do want to give credit. I'll have to find her name. I'm drawing a blank at the moment, of the UK demonstrator that I've made a similar bag to this before, but it's been quite some time, but I just happened to come across it earlier this week and I thought, oh, that would be darling. And then I'm using the Happiness Blooms enamel dots, and then the beautiful Calypso Coral ribbon. This is 3/8 of an inch satin ribbon. So all these things, except for the cardstock and the framelits, are all part of the Happiness Blooms suite. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do to make the bag, we're gonna actually use a 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper, which is really, really nice. And you're gonna need your Simply Scored tool. Now, when you're making this, no, it's not poodles. Actually, I've gotten a lot of bags from her too. I'm sure, you know, I want to say the bag that I made of hers back when I first started as a demonstrator was one of her bags, and this is very similar. This is just taller. Hers was a little bit shorter and wider. So I'm sure Sam has probably created this, so I could give her credit too. She comes up with some beautiful bags. It's amazing. So, hey Debbie. Hi Marianne. Okay, so when you're making this bag, especially if you have a pattern, you know, like this one, well, really both of these sides, it doesn't really matter because the pattern is pretty consistent from top to bottom. If you rotated it, well, if you rotated it this way, then the flowers would be going from like left to right. But so when you're creating your box or your bag, you just want to be aware of the pattern of the paper, and if there is a true top and bottom, you want to make sure that the top is at the top of your scoring tool, because this is going to be the top of the box and we're going to be actually scoring horizontally to be able to flip the opposite side of the paper over. Hopefully that makes sense. And so let me get my little scrap piece of paper that tells me how to score. So this is going to be the top of the box, the front of the box. So we're going to start, so just imagine this is the top. So we're going to start scoring this way. So the very first score mark you're going to make is 3.5, 5.5, 9, and then add 11. All right, and then you're going to rotate it just one time. So now we're going sideways. and we're gonna score it at 2 and then 10.5. And that is all the scoring that we're gonna do. Next, just get your bone folder and just fold on all of those score marks. And because this is a 3D project, you really wanna make sure that you give those score marks a really good burnish with your bone folder. So even though the paper is thin, you still wanna use your bone folder. So how is everybody doing today? Oh, and I've got one more. Last Thursday, that's the day that we got the email about Ty's school closing. An hour later, we get a call from the we live in St. Johns County here in Florida, from the sheriff's office telling us that our daughter, Jillian, was in a car accident. And oh my gosh, to get a call from the sheriff's office, that was scary. I've never had that happen before. Jillian was just so shaken up to call. So the sheriff's office call, and she's fine. Her car, she was in a 4-car wreck. The car that caused it all hit another car, hit the car behind Jillian, and then hit her as well. So unfortunately, she has about $5,000 worth of damage done to her new car. So anyway, she's a little shaken up, but she's good. She's good. Okay, so you see here that this very last score mark, the one that's an inch, yeah, is that an inch? Yeah, a little over an inch, that I'm folding it backwards. So this print is going to be showing in the front of the bag. All right, so here we are at the bottom score lines. And what we're gonna do is just make some easy cuts. The vertical score marks right here, we're just gonna go to that very first horizontal line. And these are gonna be the flaps that create the bottom of the box. And so what I like to do is just kind of notch the inside like so. And then there's another one right here. So my week has been spent either trying to make appointments to tour schools or deal with insurance companies. So we're dealing with our insurance company, which is wonderful. We have USAA, and then the boy that caused the accident, he has Geico. They've been great, but it's been a little hectic. Okay, and then here on the right side, you have this small rectangle, and you actually have a small rectangle up here at the top. These two, you're just gonna cut away, and what I like to do is to kind of cut on an angle. This just kind of allows the bag to close together a little bit nicer with less bulk. Okay. And for these kind of bags, for these kind of projects, I mean, you could use snail, but honestly, I like the tear and tape. And what I'm going to do is on the ends, this is going to be where the paper folds over. You can see that. And I want to make sure that those are as seamless as possible, like closed. So I'm going to put the tear and tape going this way on the very ends. Okay. And then what I can do is just, and I'll cut that in a minute. And then what I can do is just take a strip and just put it right down the middle, like so. Okay, so let me just cut this off really quick. Okay, get that off of my finger. And then what I like to do, I've got the tape on my fingernail. There we go. What I like to do is like take my bone folder and just burnish at least one of the ends, and that makes getting the backing strip off a lot easier. And I like to use the little paper piercer tool instrument from our Take Your Pick. And I'm just just removing that. This is actually a really, really simple box. It comes together really quickly. And you could actually leave these flat if you wanted to make, a few of these at a time. You can actually lay them flat and then decorate them when you're ready to use them. Okay, so what I'm doing is I just want to make sure that I'm lining it up straight all the way across. Okay, that looks good. Because you don't want it to be crooked because this is the top of your box. And then what I like to do is to fold it and go ahead and burnish it again. Just because it's thicker now. And you just want it to have a nice crease as much as possible. Okay, so there we go with that. Now I'm just gonna work on this side flap. This is what's gonna close the box together. So if you can imagine that. So what I'm gonna do here is just put some more tear and tape, and I'm just gonna put it here on the edge. And then again, burnish it. If y'all have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask them. I will check before the live is over. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Yeah, she's good. Jillian's good. She's a little, it kind of scared her. She's a little nervous about driving, but she's been driving to school since Monday. She took, we let her stay home Friday. She was pretty shaken up. You know, she was embarrassed. And she, you know, she didn't want her friends to ask her what happened because she felt like she would start crying, and she didn't want to she didn't want to cry at school. And of course, Monday when she went back to school, 3 of her teachers saw her because it happened right outside of school. I mean, it was like crazy. So of course they asked her, and she was all embarrassed. So she's a junior in high school. If y'all, I don't think I've ever, haven't mentioned that. So anyway, so if you wanted to make these in bulk and, you know, just have them ready to go, you could actually just store them like this. And then all you would have to do is just go ahead and, finish it off by just taping the bottom and then putting the holes in. So that's a really neat way to make these in advance and have them ready. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put tear and tape on the bottom flaps, and I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put tear and tape on 2 different places, at the top and the bottom of both of these flaps, just so that it closes really seamlessly and you don't see any gaps. Okay. Thank you guys. Yeah, she's good. Okay, so again, let me just burnish this. And these long ones, I'll go ahead and trim those off. You could just roll the excess up, but it's just as easy to trim off. And I'll go ahead and take off the backing strips on both of them, and then that will be easier for me to put it together. This little bag holds quite a bit. You could put a nice little gift in here. And the great thing is like I was saying at the beginning, is that you could make, oh, hold on, let's see here. I want to find the back. Okay, so here's the back. So, okay, perfect. So we want, once you see where the seam is, that's going to be the back side. So this flap, you want it going towards the back so that the seam doesn't show in the front of the bag. Hopefully I described that well, and you can understand exactly what I'm saying there. All right, so that's what it looks like. We're going to give it a little pinch, and you can like kind of fold it in a little bit. But before I close the bag, I want to go ahead and do my stamping because I want to attach that onto the front. I found that when I had already tied the ribbon or punched the holes and tied the ribbon, that this didn't stay on as well. So let's go ahead and do the front of this. I want a little contrast. What other colors does it say this comes in? Let's see. I may stamp off once. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm going to do. See this lighter color? That's like a lighter of Calypso Coral. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stamp off once so we can get that lighter color for the flower. I think that will be pretty. So I'm going to use this image right here, and then I'm using this little image for the middle, and I will do that in Call Me Clover. So let's see here. So I've got my piece of cardstock, Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper really quick. Okay, so I'm going to ink up this in Calypso Coral. I'm going to stamp off once, and now I'm going to stamp this right there so you can see that pretty color. So that's going to be really nice. And then let's go ahead and stamp the center and Call Me Clover. So right here. Just like that. And then I'm going to grab my Big Shot, got it right down here. And then I think I can cut this at the same time. Okay, and then here's my plate. Okay, so this is what it looks like once we die cut it. Then here's the cute little scallop square. Okay, Lottie, you have to stay down, okay? All right, so when this one is cut out, it's 1 5/8, and then this is 1 3/4. So 1 3/4 wide, and this is 1 5/8. So that's just going to go right on top of there, and I'm just going to use dimensionals to put that on here. And then I'm going to use tear and tape on the back of the scallop square, just so to ensure that it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. So this is just going to go like so. And then I'm going to use one of the Happiness Blooms enamel dots. I used the largest one. And I'm just going to put that in the center of the flower. Just kind of gives it a little bit of bling. And then I will use 2 pieces of tear and tape. Just put it here. Hi, Valentina. Okay, and one right here. All right, so let's bring our bag back in. And I just put it here in the center. If you wanted to, you could put it on an angle like that. That's really nice too. That's the nice thing about the squares is you can do diagonal. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, and the other thing to do is stick your hand all the way down and kind of make a fist to get that bottom really good and tight. All right, so that's what it looks like. Now what I'm going to do is pinch, and I am using a tool. I am using a tool we no longer carry, but hopefully y'all have something like this. It's the Crocodile, so I'm just going to punch 2 holes. I like it because it punches through multiple layers at once. And then I'm going to feed the Calypso Coral ribbon through. And to do that, you want to start in the back. Or I guess it really doesn't matter because you're going to feed it through both sides. I just always start in the back. I love this ribbon. It's so, so pretty. And just make sure that your ribbon is straight, not twisted. Okay. And let's see if I can do a pretty bow on camera. And so I think I said it was 3/8 inch wide. Ah! Okay, y'all just have to imagine. Let's try this again. Let's do it this way. I don't usually tie my bows like this, but let's see if this makes a difference. Oh, look at that. There you go. Not sure why, but it worked. Okay, so let me trim the ends, make them nice clean cuts. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to do is go ahead and stamp the sentiment. So we've just got our piece of scrap paper right here. And I'm going to use Happy Birthday. Like I said, this is coming from the Amazing Life stamp set. So this is also in the Occasions catalog. Inking this up with Night of Navy, classic label punch, and just center that in there. So you could use this for any occasion, this stamp set and bag. And I'm just going to put a little bit of snail right here in the center, and then just attach it down below. And there you have it. That is the box. So what do y'all think? Isn't that just so bright and cheerful? I just love it. It's been a little gloomy the last few days here in Florida, so this is just so bright and cheerful. I love it. All right, so again, that was using the Bloom by Bloom stamp set along with the paper from the Happiness Bloom stamp suite, excuse me. Let me just show you one more time. I think that's on 24 and 25. There is a little punch pack that you can get. You can save 10% if you get the stamp set along with that Bitty Blooms punch pack. That it's adorable. But I just love this paper and just had fun making this bag. So I hope y'all liked the project. Thank you guys. I'm so glad you liked it. And I will have the information up later this evening because I have got to run to an open house, and then I'll have the blog post up tomorrow. Well, you guys are the best. I love creating projects and having y'all join me every week. Thank you again. All right. Well, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next week for another iStampin' Live. Bye.